My name is Keandra Hall. I work with a program called Fresh RX Oklahoma. We help people that have type 2 diabetes get access to fresh, local, regenerative produce for a full year. I believe everyone should have access to health education. So today we have Chef Chad Cherry. Everyone give it up for Chef Chad. He's going to be doing a pickling demo with us. You guys are going to go home with the recipes that you're going to see today, and you're going to get to try it. And then just a little infographic about fiber, because everyone could have more fiber. I would say with like the standard American diet, everyone thinks that we need protein. I will say most of us are not protein deficient at all. We're actually deficient in fiber, which is why colon cancer is rising. People are having all sorts of digestive issues. So one way we can tackle it is by having lots of fiber. And we know that fiber also helps lower our blood sugar overall, to help increase our insulin resistance and help it stabilize, to lower our LDL cholesterol levels, and lots of many things. But instead of just talking to you about eat fiber, I'm going to show you a great way to have a packed ton of fiber.
Chef Chad Cherry here to do a healthy cooking demonstration about gut health for diabetics and some other things. So, got a lot to show you. We're gonna hang out together for about an hour, get some samples in, get some cool stuff. That's good with y'all?
Yeah.
All right. If you're thirsty, I see some people have water. There's also kombucha in the back, which I encourage you to try. Anybody know what kombucha is?
I do. I brought my host back from California.
I love it.
I know how to make it.
See?
I
Kombucha
think your
is...
Scooby is impeccable. Or your Scooby, excuse me.
I don't know what Scooby is.
My Scooby-Doo.
Okay, Scooby-Doo.
My dog's name is Scooby, that's why.
That's who, yeah, but my sugar host, that's actually what it is.
And I'm gonna work as I talk, but kombucha is a good start for what we're talking about because this says pickle it. And a lot of times online, when you're looking at pickled stuff, they're actually showing you fermented stuff, or they're showing you things that are half sour, something else. There are many options. Kombucha is a form of what we would call like long pickling, right? Like fermenting. Okay. What we're doing today is a quick pickle. So we'll be making what's called a brine. And anybody know what a brine is? So brine is going to be something that is salty, sweet, acidic, and in liquid form. That's the main thing, right? We use brines in culinary. If you're cooking, like I don't know how many people fry turkeys over Thanksgiving, but I'm a avid turkey fryer over here. So if you're gonna fry your turkey, you want to. So what you do is you get a big bucket, you make a really crazy brine, and you drop the turkey in, right? And that's how you infuse the flavor. So that is similar to what we'll be doing here with our vegetables. So quick pickling is basically a brine because we know that all of our vegetables have a lot of water inside of them, but that water ain't got no flavor. It's kind of bland. So we make a flavorful brine, and what happens is as it submerges, what's inside comes out, what's outside comes in. That's the basic science of it. It's not too technical. I'm not too technical. I ain't gonna get into all that. We're just gonna say what that is. That's cool? All right, bet. So we have 2 recipes to go through today and some variations. What I'm doing right here is I am making what I want to use to sample with some cucumber cups. All right? And I do this because you guys have anything in your pantry that you may not know how it really tastes, like seasoning wise? Like you ever get a seasoning and be like, I think this tastes like that, but you're not totally sure? Somewhat? Okay. How many people here cook? We should start there. Like cook. Okay. That's what it is. Y'all actually cook. All right. Say less. So we're gonna adjust from that. Okay, because you never know what room you're in. Sometimes you're in a room, people don't cook. I always suggest to people because they're like, oh, how do you know what such and such tastes like? They'll buy something because it looks good. They'll never taste it. I'm like, get a cucumber, sprinkle some of it on, see what it tastes like. That gives you a baseline because cucumbers are wonderful palate cleansers. As such, they're also great for you, full of like just all kinds of goodness. And so I tend to use them in demonstrations a lot of times to let people know what something tastes like, but to also use it as a vessel to deliver a really strong flavor. Now, if we're using vinegar, that's acid, it's strong. We know what that is. Like, I don't know if you've ever messed up and used too much vinegar on something and been like, yo, how do I fix that? This is one of the things, the cucumber is gonna gonna take out some of that acidity, and it just helps us with delivery. So I'm making little cucumber boats as I talk to you, and we're gonna jump right in. But I have a question for y'all. Did you look at the recipe, everybody? No? Okay. Well, take a look. I want to start with the pickle green, like with the pickle green mango, carrot, onion, cilantro. I want to start there. Is that cool? Yeah. Oh, see, I got the yes, please. Yo, I like you. You can come back. The rest of y'all, I don't know, but she's good. So I will say off rip, right? And y'all said y'all cook. So when you look around the room, what you got here, this is called mise en place. So in the culinary world, you have to have a starting point. You ever see a chef starting a recipe and this stuff is still in bags? Go that way. All right? Mise en place means everything in its place. And that's particularly important because you don't want to be cooking in the middle of something that's time sensitive. You're like, yo, where is the such and such and I need this? So you spread everything out. You have it so it's easily accessible so that you can flow through your recipe. Preparation, yep. We just say mise en place, right? So with that being said, when you go to cook too, there's also an order of operations. A lot of times people want to just start where they feel. In truth, you're supposed to start with what takes the longest, right? And if there's any special preparations for things. So we're doing pickle green mango, carrot, onion, cilantro. Does anybody have anything they see here that's going to need some special preparation in their mind? Anything? Anything on that recipe?
The mango.
Yes. Carrot. See? Everything. All of it. I'm going to be chopping and working and using my hands and talking and cooking. It's a whole thing. But what I wanted to start actually with is our cilantro. Reason why is cilantro tends to carry a lot of stuff in its leaves. So we're going to take the cilantro because this is something you can start and forget. And you're just going to submerge it in water, right? And I'll show you why later on. But submerge your cilantro, let that sit. That's literally the first step. That's going to take a few minutes. A lot of people want to wash their cilantro, and just regular washing doesn't get it done. So while that's submerging, I'm going to take my cucumbers. I'm going to put these in a bowl because these are already prepped. Okay? We're going to season our cucumbers slightly because that's just good business, good practice. Seasoning wise, I am running with pink Himalayan salt, which I'm going to put into a bowl here. And I'm going to add in some of this. Is 24 herbs and spices. I don't know if the KFC approves this, but we going with it. All right, just say, you never know. Always put some herbs or something in your thing. Does anybody know why I chose pink Himalayan salt as opposed to sea salt or kosher salt?
Celtic sauce.
Or, yep. Huh?
Sodium qualities. Real.
It's got minerals in it.
Yes. So the pink salt has minerals, but also in how the salt breaks down. So when you're using sea salt, which is a very popular salt, which I do like, I ain't got no personal beef with sea salt. Me and the ocean ain't never had no problems. Sea salt doesn't dissolve. When you sprinkle it, wherever it lands, that's it. It's there. So you end up with salt pots. Kosher salt will dissolve evenly, right? And table salt has iodine in it, which you kind of need, but at the same point in time, do we really? That's for you to decide, right? Pink salt, the Himalayan salt, has minerals, and it also dissolves evenly, so it's amazing salt to use. And I still believe it has a little bit less sodium than table salt. So we're gonna prep our carrots. Peeler. You have one job, peeler. I know I bought a peeler. No, maybe I didn't buy peeler. Maybe I bought. Okay, it said apple peel and scraper. Oh wait, no, I was using it wrong. User error. So we're just gonna peel a couple of these, and we're gonna get these sliced up. And if the carrot peels would stop jumping around. So while I'm doing this, how many people in here are or know someone who's diabetic? By show of hands. Okay, what about like cancers, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all the things by show of hands? You know, I've been in culinary, I've been doing demos for, I'd say, at least 15 years now. And There was a time when I would enter a room and half the room would raise their hands. And now we're in a time and space where the majority of the room raises their hands. So we've got to ask ourselves what's going on. I believe that food is medicine and that you can cure yourself with food. I am personally a type 2 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was like 26 or 27. It was early. It was early enough that I was like, what you talking about? But reality set in pretty fast. I ended up doing what I call an unplanned vacation and spending like a month in the hospital. Had to have surgeries. They told me I would be on dialysis by the time I was 40. I started out insulin dependent, didn't get an option, didn't know there was an option for anything else. And well, now I'll tell you how it's going. 45. I'm currently about 70 pounds lighter. I was a little over 350 when I got diagnosed. Actually, no, I'm more than that. I'm 270. So, what's that? 80. Almost 80. Let's go, sis. You know what I'm saying? I bring that up because not only am I not insulin dependent, but there's no chance of me even having to need dialysis. I'm on pills and I'm almost at the point where I can get off of those. Right? Hey. So I bring that up because if like I can do it, everybody can. Those aren't often the stories that we want to tell people. Well, the industry that is the industry doesn't have an incentive to. In this situation, we here with Fresh RX in our demo, our goal is to leave you not just with a dope recipe, but with knowledge and tricks and tips that will help you make better choices all around. When it comes to like being healthier, it's not about like making big shifts. It's about small incremental steps, little things, because it's got to become a lifestyle change. Now I will pause on my infomercial and tell you what I'm doing with these carrots over here. All right. So all I'm basically doing is I peel the carrots. I'm just breaking them down to smaller, more manageable bites for how we want to eat them. In your pickling experiment, and I'm going to use, as we're doing this, I'm going to use this guy here, and I'll put everything in so I can make a bunch for the class, then we'll serve it out, and then I'll can what's left, right? But when you're doing it home, you don't have to do it this way. I'm doing a couple of them smaller because I want to be able to include them into our cucumber bites. And if they're too big, they're just not gonna work. So at home, you can do what's called the julienne. Anybody know what a julienne is?
Thin slice.
I love it. Very thin, long slice. And what we're doing here is we're basically building our bowl. Okay? And as I cut these, I'm not being too specific. Carrots are going in as our base. The coolest thing about pickling is even though we gave you 2 recipes, you literally do not have to follow the recipe, okay? You can use what you have at home, and that's extra important. Don't look at something and be like, oh my gosh, I can't make this because I don't have these ingredients. I don't have everything. I'm missing, this one salt or such and such. No, substitute. Freeform. Literally, find what you got, use that. Don't worry about anything else you don't have. Heard? That's fair?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's really important because sometimes I think we forget to do those things. What else is going in our mix, y'all? Talk to me. Carrots? Somebody call out something. Cucumbers. Cucumbers. Onions. All right. Which one? Mango. You see, I'm waiting for that mango there, right? Like I haven't been trying to get into it. I'm waiting. I'm gonna get into it. All right, let's go. Let's do some onions real quick. I don't want to use the red onions for this one. I'm gonna use white onions. Cool? Actually, Vidalia, these aren't totally white onions, they're Vidalia. Vidalia onions are just a little bit sweeter than white onions and just a little less like totally bite you. Okay, and I'm gonna juggle. I was just making sure you're all paying attention. We're gonna prep up some mangoes really quickly, some onions really quickly, and that will be our second ingredient. Then we're gonna go back to our cilantro. We're going to go back to our mangoes. If we can't use it, it's all good.
Yeah, we might have to.
Oh, I didn't realize. I'm assuming that everybody here knows exactly what they're doing when it comes to cutting onions. That is a bad assumption. Let me show you how to cut an onion. Mango, as she said, makes you cry. If you are really struggling, onions.
Onions make me cry.
Someone put mango in my brain. It's your fault, okay? You put mango in my brain. It's your fault. Onions make you cry. So one of the things you can do to not cry is if you're really, really struggling, first is breathe out of your mouth. No nose. Second is literally find your freezer, stick your head in. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. It really does help. I'm serious. I know it sounds crazy. It really does help.
I have a tip that actually helps. If you get a paper towel or a rag wet and put it near your cutting board, it helps. So whatever chemical in the onions is drawn to water, so it's on your eyes. So if you put something wet near it, it usually helps. I'm just a weenie and I cry.
No, onions have a bad tendency of attacking everybody else that's not cooking. Almost as like you should be helping out. So as I cut, I might be okay, but it may attack y'all. Just saying. So first thing is, these are round. You don't want to cut things that are round for safety. So anything round, we got to make it flat. So first thing is cut your butts off, right? Okay? Cut the butts off. We have it flat. Now, cut it in half. Because once again, you don't want to cut round things. Don't worry about how much mango you're losing. Get that whole first layer, peel it, discard it, let it go. Let it go quickly. The faster you can move, the better, right? All right. Did I say mango again?
You know what, y'all? He meant it right. You're really excited, right? So you just really don't want to cut the mango.
Yo! As I get to the mango, I will tell you about my mango trauma. That's what's happening. Okay, it's literally mango trauma resurfacing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut long way and then turn it and cut this way. Now, a lot of chefs, they're like, get in here. You can do that. It does work a little bit better, technically. At home, this is the fastest way. It's easier, simple. I'm not going to go over knife skills today because of time, because we've got to do 2 demos. So I'm just showing you the regular. All right, and then once you cut it this way, we're good to go. When you get to this end right here, lay it down. Always give yourself the most surface area possible to cut. Don't try to cut down on a thin surface area. It really will help you with not cutting your own finger off. Onions are going next, right? At this point in the demo, you can start working with your brine if you like, right? But you don't have to. There is a time component to brine, okay? Like everything. So the longer it sits, the more flavor it's going to get. So when you look at quick pickling, normally what we're doing is we're going to make our brine, we're going to drop everything in, and we're going to let it sit, we'll put it in the fridge for a few hours. We obviously don't have a few hours. So what we are going to do here to compensate for our lack of time is we are going to make a stronger brine. Cool? All right, make sure everybody's following. Remember I told you there's not a lot of rules to when it comes to pickling and doing other things, like especially if you don't have ingredients at home. There is one rule I would love for you to keep in mind, and that rule is colors. Okay? And I'm just saying that because whatever you're making, when you're pickling, when you're working at home, and matter of fact, just in the general plates that you eat at your house, make sure you are including a lot of different colors. Anybody know why that is?
All the different vitamins, minerals.
Thank you.
Fruits and veggies.
See, you've been to class before, and you was the one that brought up mangoes. Man, I thought we was bunnies. No, but America is one of the largest micronutrient deficient countries in the world. Meaning
Because we don't eat it down.
we big, but we don't have everything because a lot of our plates are severely brown. Okay, they're one color. In nature, colors mean things. And in this time, when we're talking about, our vegetables, our fruits, our other stuff, that stands for micronutrients. They stand for vitamins. They stand for minerals. But so you want to have colors, right? Because they're super, super important. We are adding in a couple right now. I'm going to start our brine, and I'm starting with our carrots and onions because these are some of the flavors. Like the onion is really strong. Carrot takes a while to penetrate. Mango is going to be easier to get in there, so you don't have to worry about it. We're using organic apple cider. I use apple cider because it's a little more forgiving. Okay?
What do you mean forgiving?
Meaning white vinegar is very potent. So I like it, but apple cider allows me to kind of if I mess up a little bit, it's not terrible. I can kind of live, I can work with it. Now, no one has asked me a very important question here. How do you make the brine? What's in the brine?
Well, you
Salt.
first, and you
Yeah.
can use sugar.
Salt, sugar, water, vinegar. What about ratios? What's the water to vinegar ratio in a brine? Quick pickling. Take a guess. Shoot out here. Shoot.
2 to 1.
2 to 1. What'd you say?
1 to 1?
It's actually 1 to 1. So because I use the whole bottle, because I'm making a big one, I'm gonna go ahead and use the whole bottle and fill this up with water, right? To make things quicker, we'll just use this water right here since it's standing in front of us. At home, use a measuring cup. There is one rule though that's cool, is you technically can't ever use too much vinegar. It's more of a taste preference, right? But vinegar is strong. One of the things we're doing with the vinegar and other stuff is we are killing potential bacteria, which is where you get into, like, if you really want to fully can this, you would put it on the stove and heat it up, and then we would kill all the bacteria. We would seal it, put it in the fridge. But that would also mean that your everything has to be fully submerged in a tight container, which is why we have jars like this. Sugar. We are in a diabetic class. Can anybody tell me what low glycemic sugars are before I jump into there?
Sugars that don't spike your blood sugar.
Yo, guys, I like this. Yes, so as a type 2 diabetic, I had to learn the difference and why my sugar would do this when I would eat certain things. The simple answer is our body's not good with refined sugars. It's just not. Right? So sweet potatoes, agave, right? Cane sugar, monk fruit sugar. What's the other one we saw over there?
Date sugar.
Date sugar,
Those are my
right?
favorites.
They all
I use
will.
maple.
Huh?
Maple.
Maple sugar,
Yeah,
yep.
maple syrup.
They're better for us, right? And in the Caribbean, where my family's from, like sugar cane, they literally walk through the fields chewing sugar cane.
Yeah.
They're good.
But that's because it has fiber with it. So
Talk
anytime you
your
have
talk,
sugar,
talk your stuff,
you
sis.
want to have fiber with it because it helps sustain your blood sugar. So high glycemic, like potatoes and regular potatoes and sweet potatoes are going to have carbs. They're going to make your blood sugar go up. But because sweet potatoes are a complex carb and have a lot of fiber, instead of, if we're looking at like a graph of blood sugars, it's going to go up really fast and then drop really fast. If we have something like yellow potatoes or russet potatoes. But the sweet potatoes are going to cause it to go up, but slower because it takes longer for your body to metabolize
Now what
because of the fiber.
What about the Japanese products?
Those have, okay, so those have a very high glycemic index just because of the way it is. So you can still eat it, you just have to be mindful of the portion size. And like that
That's
might
what
be
cheated.
the only carb that you want to have high fiber.
Can you-
Lots of vegetables. And it's, fiber doesn't just have to be vegetables. You can also get it from grains, barley.
Can you actually talk about that real quick? Can you just talk about the difference between carbs and sugar, and then fiber and why it's important?
Okay.
Because a lot of times people don't count their carbs. They'll look at an item and be like, oh, it has 13 grams of sugar in it, but they're not then looking at the carbs as well.
Right. So you might see something that says I've got 13 grams of carbs, but it has 13 grams of sugar, but it has 40 grams of carbs. Well, all of those carbs are going to break down into sugars. So we know that fruits have sugars, right? And some people are like, well, you shouldn't eat fruit because there's still sugar. Well, no, there is, but when you eat the whole fruit itself, not it stripped down into juice or something, you have fiber, you have minerals, you have these other things that likes to break down. Your body wants to do all the hard work when it comes to digesting, which is why highly processed foods are not so good for us. Our bodies will absorb them, but they don't know what to do with them. So when our bodies are designed to break down sugars from natural sources, like rice, grains, like bread. People ate bread for a long time, but does anyone know what happened when bread started getting unhealthy? Yeah,
Actually, civilization was built on wheat.
Yeah, it is. So, like, if you actually get, like, the wheat from here and grind it down yourself, which sounds crazy, but if you have, like, a KitchenAid, they have an attachment, so I'd look into that. It has a lot of nutrients, it has a lot of fiber. And potatoes are good for you. That's why when the Irish potato famine happened, it was a big deal. People were not able to sustain themselves. But it's when we're eating other carbohydrates in the form of, like, fruit roll-ups or these chips or these things, that's where you end up. Even if it says it has no sugar, if it has lots of carbs, it's still going to break down. Now, if I'm looking at a nutrition label, so say I'm diabetic and I'm trying to figure this out, you can see here that there is 40 grams of carbohydrates per serving, but you can also see there's 2 grams of fiber. So whenever you can actually subtract the fiber from the total carbohydrates because that's how much it's going to impact. So remember we were talking about spaghetti alternatives? And we're talking about quinoa pasta and how it
Spaghetti squash?
Spaghetti squash.
Oh, I saw some of those over there earlier, like right around the corner. I was like, ooh.
Spaghetti squash is great, but the more basically the fiber is going to help combat the carbohydrates, which is why we talk about eating a whole plate. I think a lot of people that are diabetic told they're not allowed to eat this, or we have to reduce so much, and you feel like you can't eat anything. But actually, your plate should be full. It's just what is going on. Just kidding. See this here? Ideally, if you have like a standard 9-inch plate, 75% of it should be full of vegetables and or healthy grains. So they call it water fiber. It's basically water soluble fiber, which your plate can still be really full and you can be satiated without restricting yourself. That's all about our portions. Not in a way that we're like counting everything on a scale.
But you know what she was saying about carbs too and everything is if you are eating more colorful, you give yourself a little more forgiveness. Like we forget how amazing our bodies are. Our bodies can handle a lot of stuff, but what happens is over time toxins build up, especially with the way our modern food system is. Right? We're getting toxins from everything. If you're a woman, all of your beauty products, cosmetic stuff, all toxins. And the skin is the largest organ, so you're taking it in. So what happens when you start to cook for yourself and you start to prepare some of your own ingredients, you're seeing what's going in. That's part of the reason for buying organic food and paying a little bit more. But still read the labels there and do a little bit of research on that. But the point is, 9 times out of 10, when you prepare something, you can control a lot more what's going into it. So controlling that end result means that you will now have a better situation. Have you heard the term microbiome?
Yes.
Okay. So our gut is like a little universe. It has millions, maybe, I could be wrong, it could be more than millions of different types of bacteria in there, but it's got a lot of bacteria. And bacteria is not inherently bad. Bacteria is very, very helpful when it's in the right portions and when it's in balance. And so because we're not eating colors on our plate, because we don't have our proper nutrient densities that we've had, and because we've had these deficiencies not for like a month or two, but for years, a lot of times our microbiome is off, our gut is off. As diabetics, we tend to drill down on just the sugar. It's not just the sugar, right? It's always a combination of sugars, fats, salts. Those 3 are the real killer. But it's also the other things that are going wrong in your body. If your body doesn't have to fix a bunch of other stuff, then guess what? It can focus on its main problem. Ask me how I know. We're using wood, and I'll come back to my story, because there is a reaction between acid and like metal. Okay? And it's not a huge reaction, but it will change your flavors. So using glass bowls, plastic bowls, using wooden utensils, it makes a big difference. Especially, I learned that from my Italian neighbor growing up when I was trying to learn how to make marinara sauce. All right? And yes, I used about 1/4 of the bottle. This is a large container. At home, you would use less. Agave tastes much sweeter than sugar. Okay? Much sweeter taste-wise. So you would use less. That's why I use about 1/4. This is a large thing. And at home, when you're putting in sugar for your brine, depending on what your size you're using, right? It's just like a scoop, like a tablespoon, teaspoon even, right? And that is one of those things you can adjust. So this will we'll let it sit for about 10 minutes. Are you a Fresh RX member?
Yes, I am.
See, we got presents. Look, me and Keith, we already figured this
You know
out.
I'm not gonna send you home with nothing.
Now this is our perfect infomercial for becoming a Fresh RX member. This is why you should join the family properly. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, so we are a produce prescription program. I talked a little bit about the beginning. We're actually the first one in Tulsa. So we partner with local farmers that use organic and regenerative farming practices. Our members get access to this food for a full 12 months. But the stipulation is that you must live in North Tulsa and you must be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Right now, North Tulsa has a almost decade-long life expectancy gap from South Tulsa to North Tulsa due to lack of food access. It is not a food desert. Deserts are naturally occurring. And that was not.
Yo, I actually
So we work
love
really
that.
hard to make sure that we are giving the people that have the largest population of food-related diseases and going in those communities first. Now, our goal is to expand over all of Oklahoma because, you know, we're in Oklahoma. Everyone knows somebody with diabetes. So the goal is that we would be all over Oklahoma. Now, you have to have those stipulations to be a member, but we open all of our classes open to the public. We have classes each month online or on Zoom for you guys to engage in. You can contact our regional health department. But yeah, if you know anyone that is type 2 diabetic that lives in North Tulsa, we are actively enrolling new patients. It is full 12 months. It is free of cost.
Hasn't broken out.
They're welcome to like check out our YouTube channel
Okay.
and like this demo is gonna go on there for people who are homebound.
Yeah.
So they can engage. We have recipes on our website. So they're welcome to engage that way until we go further south.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add in a couple of things. I'm adding in my cucumbers now. And I'm gonna add in some yellow mustard seeds. Okay? So those are also antimicrobial, meaning they help fight bacteria, but they do give some nice flavor. If you're I don't know if anybody here like does meats for like smoking meats, grilling meat, stuff like that. Consider getting some of this mustard seed and crushing it up into your dry rubs. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It really adds so much to flavor. And by the way, mustard, just like honey, is one of nature's preservatives. Mustard, honey, salt. It's a preservative and stabilizer. Well,
It also has a lot of medicinal benefits.
I'm adding in a little turmeric.
Okay.
Okay? I know, no to the turmeric, I know. Turmeric has a little bit of a bitter taste, but we're not going to notice it in the vinegar. And anybody know why we add in turmeric?
Anti-inflammatory.
Anti-inflammatory. Huh? Yes, and for your heart, exactly. You have to be careful with how much turmeric you add, though, because, like I said, it's bitter. Because we're not cooking it, a little dab will do you. But a lot of times when I'm making yellow rice, I'm not using yellow coloring. I'm using turmeric. Right? Not only am I using turmeric, I'm also adding in a little bit of flaxseed. Right? Omega-3s. Right? Omega-3s, essential fatty acids, they're great for cancer.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. This gold beef
cool.
is so pretty. Huh?
Straight out a bite.
You want to bite it?
Yeah, I just want to bite.
Anybody else want to bite before I put it? Here, Roger, I'll put a couple out.
Yeah, just put a couple and I'll put them on the plate.
Because that is so pretty. I'm like, wow. Now I'm excited to use more of those.
So you can eat the rainbow and it not be Skittles.
And that's why we talk about color, right?
Yeah.
And we eat with our eyes. Who wants to eat beige food all day?
I'm going to add a little sugar in here. I'm going to do something just a little different for this one.
What else could you use besides
Agave, just regular organic cane sugar or cane sugar.
You can't use date sugar.
You can use date sugar. You can use sweeteners. You can use all your sweeteners. Just try not to use the refined sugar if you don't have to. But any of your sweeteners, sweetener is a personal choice, right? But you do need just a little bit to get it right. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm being a little different. But that's also because in my mind as a chef, I can taste it. So like when I'm thinking through a recipe, I can physically taste it in my mind before I cook it. It's weird. It's a chef thing.
If you cook enough,
Is that a coconut amino?
if you cook enough, that'll start to happen.
I use a lot
Yes,
of it.
this is coconut amino, right? Because I added in the turmeric, because I added in the mustard seed, in my mind, I'm like, well, I changed the flavor subtly, so I want to add just a little bit of this. And I truly mean a little bit. It's a balancer, all right? It's just meant to bring things back into balance. And in this big thing here, we need a couple of good dabs. And you'd be surprised. You'd be like, yo, what was that? And like sometimes you make something that's like, it's a little off.
Yeah.
You'd be
That couldn't have
surprised.
been more than a teaspoon.
Yeah,
Anyone who was trying to figure out what that was.
You really don't need a lot. Like I promise, like that is similar to soy sauce. It's very strong, and we don't want to make this salty. What we're looking to do, once again, is balance flavors. It's nuance. Like as a chef, it's a nuance. And I'm going to add a clove of garlic. The only reason why I didn't add this earlier is because, truthfully, for this to actually even make a flavor difference, it would need to sit for some time. So that's why I was like, I got it, and I was like, it's supposed to be in there, but it's not going to sit long enough. Just FYI, even with the dill, right? It'll be in there, it'll be good, but it's not going to change anything. It needs to sit like a bay leaf. You got to let it cook for at least an hour in your liquid, right? Like some things just take time. But this is amazing as is. If y'all want to try it, we can try it like that. If you want the garlic, I'll bust it down and drop it in. Your call. We looking at each other now. Y'all tell me what to do. I'm your chef. You give me instructions, I listen. We're fine?
We're good.
Okay. I did leave the onions out this time. But as you see, the apples take up so much space. Right? This one is different intentionally because guess what this one goes on? Anybody? Goes on? Salad.
That's my best fan away.
Enchilada.
Salad.
Right? So we'll treat this like a chutney.
Okay.
So you put it on a salad. This is giving you another reason to eat some more greens.
Especially if you guys are Fresh Rice, you guys get greens like every week. And sometimes it's like, okay, I gotta make another salad like this, but
Like not one
you
more
know,
salad. Yeah.
right, any and everything. Well, I guess anybody will eat anything but a salad. Have you seen those commercials for what's that thing? It's like they call it an unsandwich.
Unsandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just a salad, and it's okay. It's okay to like salads.
But I'm gonna tell you, me and salads still have a checkered past, right? Like I'm a meat eater. I take this and I'm gonna put this in a tortilla and I'm gonna make a salad wrap
Yeah, you
because
can
I
make
just
it wrap.
I just need to trick my brain.
Yeah, you can add. This would be great with like a grilled chicken or
Oh
like
my
tofu
gosh.
or beans or. This would probably honestly be good with pork, even with the apples and everything. If you eat pork.
So if this stove was working, this is what we would have done. It would have been I would have made some couscous and some of the beans and we would have put that in with the salad.
That's
Kill
a
the
whole-
game,
that's a
yo. Kill
whole
the game.
meal.
Yeah.
So sorry, I couldn't figure out the stove and I didn't want
It's
to
okay.
melt everything.
It's not. Yeah, we don't want to melt everything. Yeah, by the way, do y'all cook with couscous?
I do.
Try it. It's a good. It's one of the starters. Like when I'm trying to transition people off of white rice, which y'all don't have that problem here, but in like South Florida, that was a real issue. They ate rice like y'all eat potatoes. And so we would start with couscous. It's much quicker. All you ever have to do is you put water, your seasonings, a little bit of like you can use a little bit of oil, olive oil, and not extra virgin, regular olive oil, but we prefer to use avocado oil. Right? Prefer to use avocado. Olive oil has a low smoke point, it burns easy, but in water it's not so bad. Once it boils, you just add the couscous, stir it, cover it, let it boil for 2 minutes, turn it off, and it's done.
I have that all
It's
in
the simplest
basil.
thing.
They have that in basil, basil
Yeah.
or basil, whichever one you want.
Basil. I need a. Where did you?
No, that brand comes from basil.
Oh,
They have a basil.
okay. Because I saw that here and I was like, yep, that's our thing. Y'all see what that beet did to the color of my water, right? That's cool. That's cool. Anybody? Can I get a taste tester? Keandra, Joe. Anybody want to help me out? Anybody want to help me out? I just need to make sure that my flavors
Who
are
wants
right.
to try it first? Okay, yes.
All right,
Come on
come
back.
on up. Let me get you, because I'm not sure. And it definitely did not sit. I'm saying this out loud. It did not sit long enough. Oh, I gotta give you a beat. I don't know.
they're over there.
It did not sit long enough. So have grace. So we just see. I just need to know if I need to adjust. If we need to adjust any of the things.
Sure.
This is beautiful though. Like this looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Beautiful. It's so cool.
That is like. And that's why we did the long slices instead of doing them more diced.
Yay! We have a winner.
Okay, we got a winner. We did the long slice instead of dice for presentation because if you're making a salad, to be able to put all that lettuce down and then put this over top, it feels like you're getting something. Because we see our food before we eat our food. So even at home, take the time to add a little bit of presentation in, and you will be very, very happy.
And for optimal gut health, the more vegetables you eat, the better.
Oh yeah.
They say about 25 to 30 different types of vegetables per week, which sounds like a lot. But how many vegetables did we just put in this?
We did a lot, y'all. We can
Right.
count. We did a lot.
We did. I mean, we could count, but we're just in these 2 pickle recipes. That's over half your weekly, amount. Plus, if you're, sneaking vegetables in where you can. Now, if you're not used to eating a big variety, you could notice an increase in just some gut activity. So just be mindful of that. But slowly increase. But ideally, in a budget book, should be about 25 to 30 different types of produce. That includes herbs.
Can everybody eat? These are microgreens, broccoli shoots. Can everybody eat those?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're supposed to be the best probiotic on the market.
Man, listen.
Does
these-
anyone else know why like these are really good for you?
Uh,
So this, they let it grow up from not being a baby,
Yeah.
being an entire plant. So you're able to like the sheer volume of nutrients in these. Like you have to eat like 10 of these to equal the vitamins that is in this. So this is great. You want to sprinkle it on your eggs, wrap, salad, sandwich. It's a great way instead of taking a multivitamin that has God knows what in it because the FDA barely regulates our food. They're definitely
That part.
regulating our supplements.
They are not.
We need more here. Yeah, my friend took me to Barton.
These are also easy to grow at home. You do need to be careful because
Oh, I have the gathers.
I would say do be careful because they are prone to bacteria,
Yeah.
right, which we know is healthy. But if you're not mindful, you could accidentally grow like mold something in there. But easy to grow.
Well, I was asking. Hold on. No one's talking, so either I did good or I did bad.
I think when
Okay,
they're
so I'm
quiet,
like, when you're quiet, like, okay.
when they're quiet, then
Thank you. All right. I'm wondering. I'm like, wait, they didn't. That means they trying to be polite, or they're like, yo, we got to get more of that.